world seems to misunderstand that there is a big difference between being sensitive and being a highly sensitive person. Non-HSPs seem to think that sensitivity is something that we are able to just switch off, and they struggle to comprehend that this is a trait that we are born with, just like eye colour, just like height. And another thing that stresses and frustrates us is that high sensitivity is often mistakenly seen as some sort of disorder. It's actually a great source of comfort for us highly sensitive people to finally have some validation as to why we feel the way we do. What most people still don't know about HSP is that there is actually scientific evidence as to why our brains work differently. Brain scans, functional magnetic resonance imaging, confirm that highly sensitive people have greater brain activity in the regions for empathy and awareness when compared to people who are non-HSP. So having this enhanced perception, you can clearly see this is the reason why we feel overwhelmed, over-aroused and overstimulated. And this is also why we have stronger emotional reactions. We are simply picking up a lot of the subtleties that non-HSP are completely oblivious to. Highly sensitive people can also pick up on the energetic imprints of others' emotions. And this form of intangible stress is extremely difficult to explain to someone who's completely unaware of it. It's unfortunate that many of us have had teachers, parents, or even therapists who don't quite understand what this trait is all about. So in their attempt to help us, they may have wanted to make us less sensitive or to be more normal. So this general misunderstanding of this trait is a great source of stress for us. It is not a disorder to be cured of, and these generalized and false beliefs about what it means to be highly sensitive is also the reason why many of us have felt shamed, we have felt guilt, and we have felt embarrassed about having this trait of sensitivity. Highly sensitive people prefer observing rather than engaging, and we prefer to assess situations thoroughly before we respond. Take for example, highly sensitive children. It's amazing to consider that highly sensitive children will actually avoid fun activities because they find them too stimulating. There are also other often unrecognized sources of stress. So things like bright lights, noise, chemicals, food preservatives, medications. Take for example noise and light, which most people are blissfully unaware of. But these things can cause us great discomfort, and our nervous system and immune systems are much more reactive. And it's not uncommon to see prevalence of autoimmune disorders in highly sensitive people. So conditions such as chronic fatigue, diabetes, adrenal exhaustion, thyroid and hormonal imbalances. And when you look at it this way, it becomes fairly easy to connect the dots. This chronic state of overstimulation wreaks havoc on our already sensitive nervous systems, thus resulting in exhaustion and breakdown. Things like chronic insomnia, anxiety, depression are also very commonly experienced by highly sensitive people, which are just messages from an overstimulated nervous system. But despite all our sensitivity, we just smile and soldier on because we don't want to be a burden on our loved ones, and we often carry responsibilities on our already burdened shoulders. Highly sensitive people struggle to ask for help because the possibility of causing discomfort to other people takes priority. And this self-deception and self-betrayal is also an internal form of stress that many highly sensitive people will never admit to. But perhaps the psychological pain of emotional disconnection is the most intense form of stress that us highly sensitive people often feel. Many of us highly sensitive people, a lot of the times, aren't even aware of the stress that our body is tolerating, and we often ignore our body's signs. And from a psychological perspective, you can see why a highly sensitive person will avoid conflict, will prefer familiarity, and might be a little bit slow to warm up. Highly sensitive people find it soothing to withdraw and to isolate ourselves. It's our instinctual attempt to recover and to restore our nervous system to a more balanced state. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe if this is a subject that resonates with you. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to inform everyone that I will be shortly launching a nutritional video series specifically to help people who are highly sensitive.